Hey, this is Dave Erickson coming to you from my garden. I've got this story that I just have to share with you. You know, what you like as far as what tastes good to you is more in your head and your thinking than in actually how the actual item tastes. If we say something like, well, I don't like the taste of tuna, it isn't because tuna tastes bad, it's because you've associated it to taste bad. Now, I use in my book the analogy of nobody likes beer the first time. You taste beer, it tastes like crap, but we associate fitting in, being cool, being like the older teenagers that we want to hang around with. So we think that if I drink beer or if I smoke cigarettes, I'm going to be cool too. So we have that deep sense of pleasure associated with drinking beer or smoking cigarettes. So we can take two things that naturally just taste awful and make them taste good to us through that association. And just think about it. To lose weight permanently and keep it off, you really have to develop a taste for healthy, low-calorie foods. If you go and talk to somebody that is naturally healthy and thin, and you ask them about their food preferences, they're going to say, yeah, I like green beans, I love broccoli, you know, I love to eat these certain things. Or you talk to somebody that's struggling with their weight, and they may say, oh man, I really love my baked potatoes, and I like to have my steaks, and I like to have, you know, my sauces, and I gotta cook with butter, and I gotta put salt on stuff. So if you could just somehow turn off and change your tastes, it'd be automatic. You'd love to eat the things that would make you thin. But we tend to think that it isn't our preference, it's actually that item tastes bad. But really it's the association of pleasure with an item that tastes good to you. So you can associate anything to tasting good if you want to. And my story has exactly to do with this, and it proves it so much to me, and it's a funny as heck story. Just last night we were over at my daughter's school, and they have a little garden outside, and it's summer, and during the summer they assign families to go to the garden and do the weeding and water the plants and such, and take any type of vegetables that are there, that are available. And this last week was our week to go and do this, so we go over there, and Ellie and I are watering the vegetable garden, and it's got peas, and there's some carrots, and some tomatoes, and some peppers, and I think maybe some squash growing. And we get done watering it, and my wife is off weeding a flower bed on the other side of the school. Well, a storm starts rolling in, and it's like, we got to get out of here. It's going to rain pretty soon. It's blowing really hard. So I go to see what my wife's doing, and we get ready to come, and I come back to Ellie, and lo and behold, she had picked about 10 of these little tiny baby carrots. And I said, oh gosh, those aren't ready yet. And I teased her, I said, we got to put them back in the ground. Well, we didn't do that. So we took them with us, and we went and got in the car because it was starting to rain. And we're sitting in the car waiting for my wife to come. So we're just sitting there, got the car running, the air conditioning going because it's hot and humid, the storm's rolling in. And she says to me, Daddy, these carrots are delicious. And I look back, and I about started to die laughing. She had taken these dirty carrots with mud on them, and she had just taken them and wiped them off, and she was eating them with dirt on them raw in the backseat of the car. Now you try next time. Now my daughter, 6 years old, she is a finicky eater. I mean, we'll give her chicken, and if there's a little bit of fat on it, we can't even see it. She's like, oh, I don't want to eat this chicken, it's got fat on it. So very finicky, very picky eater. And here she was in the back seat eating carrots that she had just wiped the dirt off of raw. Now, why did she do that? Well, because she helped plant that garden with her classmates. She took great pride and pleasure in planting it and taking care of it. And she really was excited to see these carrots grow and then to eat them. So she associated in her brain all this pleasure to eating these carrots. So she didn't care if they had dirt on them. Those were her carrots, and she was associating, had all this anticipation of pleasure of growing these carrots and then eating them herself. And maybe her teacher had talked about how healthy and how wonderful these carrots are going to be when they grow and such. So she had this anticipation of these carrots being so wonderful that she really wanted to eat them. So try this next time. Take some small raw carrots out of your garden, keep the dirt on them, and just put them on a plate in front of your kids next time. Go, "Ah, here's your supper, kids." See what they're going to do. Like, what? So it proves that when we go into eating something with the correct mindset, we can program ourselves to like really anything we want to. So if you want to change what you like, if you intuitively know, you know what, if I started to like all these other things, like carrots and green beans and broccoli and all these low-calorie healthy foods that we know are good for us, and choose those and like those and want to choose those more than choosing other things that are high in calorie and that aren't so good for us, we know that we're going to automatically develop thin bodies. So think about that next time. What is your mindset when you go into eating something that you know you should? Is like, oh, I'm on a diet, this food is terrible. Well, then you're just reinforcing that that stuff is terrible and you'll never learn to love it. My daughter, on the other hand, went to this car with these carrots with dirt on them, and her mind was going, oh, these are my carrots, I grew these carrots, they're my wonderful carrots that my classmates and my teacher and I, we grew these, I'm so excited to eat these. She was so excited she didn't even want to wash them, she just wanted to eat them with dirt on them. So let that be a lesson to us adults, that if a little 6-year-old can teach herself to eat carrots with dirt on them, you can teach yourself to eat whatever you want to. This is Dave Erickson, Live by Choice.